Hi guys, Julianne here. Today I wanted to go over how to make a cozy for your cooking pot. So what is a cozy? It looks like this. And you have your cooking pot in it. And it is supposed to help you with your fuel consumption, meaning that you cook your food, you heat it up, and then after that you just put it into the cozy and it just keeps it warm and it continues to cook it so that you don't have to use all the fuel to keep cooking it. Also, this is really helpful to keep your hands from burning because obviously it's going to protect you. And it's still gonna get warm as I understand, but not to the point of burning your fingers. Now, I already made one, so you know what it looks like. But what do you need? You need scissors. You need this really cool material right here. You can buy that I bought this at Home Depot, and it was really easy to find in insulations. And the only annoying thing is that you have to buy like this extraordinary amount to make a cozy. So like I have a lot of material. And then you also need this really cool tape. This tape they call Reflectix. I couldn't find this at Home Depot, so I had to go to Lowe's. And the reason why they say to use this particular material is because duct tape melts. Because it still will get warm, right? Because you're putting this tape all around the corners to make this piece of cozy. And so then it would melt, and this doesn't melt. And that's really why you're using. This was not expensive at all. This was like $2-3, which was nice. And so let's get to it. First thing you'll want to do is get the outside of this pot. You take the pot. Actually, I wonder if this is gonna be enough. So I'm just gonna cut this piece off because it's pretty much it's gonna be a problem for me. Let's see. I wonder if this piece is gonna be enough. So you would take the pot and then you would roll it to the edge of the pot and you'd roll it around. Oh, this happens to be perfect. Okay, so I'll use this and then I would cut on the other side to make sure that it is, like the right size. Otherwise, I would just take a pot, the pot, and I would take on the edge right here. And then if you can see, I would take a marker, and as I'm rolling it, I would mark each spot so that I get the right size. In fact, I'm going to do this with the small piece that was perfect. So I'll do that here. I'll lay it on the outside. Just making sure it's recording. So I'll lay it on the outside, and then as I'm rolling it, I'm marking it. Don't really have to mark it, pretty much because it goes right here into the edges, but just for you to see, take it out here, mark it, keep rolling, making sure it stays on the edge, mark it, staying on the edge, mark it, staying on the edge, mark it, and so on and so forth. Then you cut it because you don't want it. I found when I made this other cozy, you pretty much want to do everything slightly bigger, especially when it comes to connecting these two sides, just a little bit bigger because you want it to be able to slide in easily. My pot has this thing right here that could create some sort of friction, and so I want to have this bigger so that it won't, get stuck. So I am going to cut it now. It doesn't look like it's enough, right? It is. It's perfect. All right, and then I take this and I roll it just to see exactly how much more I need. See, as I'm saying, I'm gonna make it, like if I made it really tight, boom, but I'm going to give it a little slack. So that way I will not have a hard time rolling it. Or I mean, putting it in. Also, if you have a pot that has like this little extra ridge, you want to be careful with that. I tried to put it right under so that it doesn't go over the ridge. I don't even know if it's called a ridge. Okay, this should be fine. Now, what you do is you use this Reflectix tape. I would recommend to get a bunch of tape pre-done because this tape is a little bit strange to handle. And I found that if I use, if you can see right here on this, like it's coming off. So you have to be kind of, I still don't know how to make it not peel up like that. So if anybody has an idea how to not make it peel up like that, that'd be really lovely. Like, I need a lot of help from people who have already done this, to be honest. So I find, is this still, it's a little bit large. Yes, this is fine. And then you just take the tape and you put it around. And then you just put this on every single corner. So I did just the outside of it, and I'm wondering if I may do it sideways, I'm gonna like it better. So I did took the tape, if you can see it, and I moved this sideways here and long ways here. I don't know, I think it's a little bit too big, but just for the sense of making it, that is what you would do. And then you would go with creating the round circle, right? Back to my cool big thing. Okay, so I'm just gonna use this. I'm gonna cut like a square because I don't like to work with just a big sheet of paper. I like to work with it when it's small like this. And then you would just take the marker and you trace the circle. Boom. So I traced a circle and I'm gonna cut it. Now, I think the last time I made it, I made the circle like on the outside of this. This time I'm gonna try to just put it in the inside like that to reduce some, actually it's not gonna work because it's too small. I think this will work. It's a little bit too small. See, and that's what you're gonna that's what you're gonna experience. Not too small, like this. This right here is just too large. I just have to make it a little bit smaller because, like I said, you need to keep some space, but it's just slightly too big. And you're gonna have to experience that. That's the thing. It's like, it's a little bit of a process, you know? So it's like, it's a little bit annoying, to be honest, to work with this because the dimensions have to be so precise that, I mean, they don't really have to be that precise, but if you're like a perfectionist, then it's definitely gonna bother you. For me, it just bothers me because my circle was so much smaller. So I think the long ways, I kind of have that, I kind of like it, long ways. Okay, boom, fixed it a little bit. Now I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna do the corners of that. Same idea. Now with this, because you can just use so much of this tape, I cut them into even smaller pieces and then I go around and then I just do each individual corner. And I have some already prepared because I hate having to cut each one, so I'm gonna do it. Yes. So having this pre-done like that, oh my gosh, so much easier than I did it my first time. So then you see what it looks like. You have it nice, and you just take your pot and you put it in. All right. Another thing is that the edges of this is very ruggedy, so you're going to want to, unfortunately, put reflective tape on the edges as well. That way it doesn't get stuck. So I'm gonna do that now. So I did the cozy and I did the edges of this piece of the holder, the cup holder, and you can put it in and it slides in and out very easily when you do that. All right, here comes the obnoxious part, which is the lid. And the important part about the lid are a few things. You want to make it a lot bigger than the actual cup holder because you want it to be able to slide right over. Why it's difficult is because you don't really have dimensions for it. You kind of have to guess. And I'm getting the lid because see how the lid is so small? And it's not like you can really use the lid for that. I mean, I use the lid. I actually don't use the lid. I think I use the outside of the circle to create the dimensions for that. And so let's get that started. Right, so I'm gonna take this, again, cutting a little piece. That way I don't have to deal with this huge foil. Okay, boom shakalaka, making a circle. Now I make the circle here. And I purposefully use the side where it opens versus the bottom because it is larger because it does have that ridge. And then I have that. And then I need to make sure that I do cut this slightly larger. So I take, like, I don't know, I just kind of guess I'm cutting it slightly larger. Be a pain in the bum. And then of course, I need a piece. Maybe this is actually kind of good. Big enough, right? So I think what I'll do is this time I'm gonna try something different. I will try to use this one. Actually, that would make sense. Kind of go on the outside of this. Oh, this is great because now if you go on the outside of the actual cozy, instead of using that, you get a better understanding of how large it needs to be. And this actually happens to be perfect. I'm sorry guys that I'm making it in a way perfect because now it's kind of hard to see how to do it, but you get the drift. You take it, you take the piece and you see if it will fit around, and essentially this does. I just think I need to do it a little bit smaller. Because you do want it to come all the way down. You don't want to just do like a top lid because something about heat still coming out on the outsides and things like that. So I choose to have one that wraps around. All right, so now what I do is, because I don't have anything, you know, to hold on to, actually maybe I can use this. So I'm not gonna make it this large. This should be fine. And then you try to make a little circle around it. This is probably what's annoying. I guess what I'll do is I'll get more tape. Okay, so I have some more prepared. Going to attempt it. I'm gonna do it while you watch me just because it is frustrating, and for me sometimes it's a little bit discouraging when I see people, they're just like, oh, I got it, and you're like, oh, how did you do it? So I think I'm just gonna start one at a time and just go around in a circle, and I'm gonna go on the outside of it just to make sure that is bigger. Hopefully it'll fit. It'd be funny if it didn't. to go. What I tried to do is I tried to just get it around first, because if I just do like one side, like if I just continue with it, it might not fit. Ah, so this works. So you can just put it around, and then it'll be much easier to put the tape around. I know it's like it's a cozy, and you're gonna mess everything up anyway, so it's not like it has to be perfect. Yeah, when things don't go perfect, we go, oh, it doesn't have to be perfect. Oh. And I'm using less tape than I did last time, just to really reduce the amount of weight that I could. Not like a weight Nazi per se, but wherever you can reduce the weight, I think it would be smart to do. Ta-da! So you can just put it, but you see how like it gets stuck on those ridges, and so again you will want to put tape all around the outside, which I'm gonna do now. Alright, I finished it all up. I put tape on the outside ridges, or the outside edges, edges, so that it would be easy to get on top. And as you can see, it does. Ooh, hello. You just put it right on top, and it's quite easy. So I hope this was helpful for you guys, and thanks so much for joining me in this adventure of making my second cozy. If anybody has the 650 Toques Light, if you have one, let me know, because I have an extra cozy. So I'd be happy to send it to you, just because honestly I have so much of this material, I don't know what else to do with it. Thank you for watching.